What's up, guys? I wanted to show you real quick how I do my hair on most days. There's a lot of great tutorials out there on YouTube about how to get, pompadour hair like a model and all these crazy hairstyles and undercuts and fades. For me, most days I'm just doing a basic side part. I don't own a blow dryer. I don't want to own a blow dryer. I'll never use more than one product in my hair. So, my goal is just to get out of the shower, put a little bit of product in my hair, get a good looking side part, and then get out the door. So, this takes 2 minutes. So I'm going to show you how to do this real quick. So the first step is you're out of the shower, your hair is soaking wet, and you want to towel dry it a little bit. All right. And, my hair is really thick, so I can be kind of rough with it. You don't want to be too rough with your hair when you're towel drying, especially if you have like thin hair or thinning hair. So don't work it too hard, but just get the most of that water weight out of it, but leave it wet enough that it's got a little bit of body to it. Okay, then you want to pick your product. Now, I usually rotate between 3 different types of products. The first one is pomade, and I use this if I want like that shiny, really dressy, kind of old school feel. Maybe if I'm dressing up, putting on a suit, going to an event. But I don't use this most days. Most days I'm using either putty, all right, or clay. And the putty is good for when my hair is really short. Like if I just got a haircut. When you have short, thick hair, you need something that's really strong, that's going to hold it in place, and putty does that. When my hair is a little bit longer like this, like I got a haircut maybe a couple weeks ago, I use clay. And I find that this particular clay, Pete and Pedro, is a good lightweight product, and it keeps my hair in place all day, but it's not like putty where it's like super thick, but it's also not like pomade where it's really shiny. It's got a matte finish, which is nice. So what I do is after I've towel dried my hair, I give it kind of a side part just with my fingers. I don't use a comb. So I just kind of find that line, find that natural line, and get my hair where I want it to be just using my fingers before any product is in it. And what you want to do with the back here, you probably have a natural like crown or a swirl, and so you want to just kind of go with the swirl. So the back here, I'll kind of pull it forward a little bit, where the swirl is, and then kind of push it back. So just kind of go, don't fight against your hair, go with it. All right, get that nice and clean. And depending on how your hair is cut and how your head is shaped, your line might be a little farther up or a little farther down, or you might even have this shaved close to your head. That's fine. It's the same basic process. Okay, so once you've got that there, it looks good, but obviously this isn't going to stay, throughout the day, so that's where the product comes in. So I will take the clay, and as you can see, it's pretty soft, and you just take maybe about, it says dime-sized amount. It's like, what is that? So you just take a little bit like on the tip of your finger. And for this type of product, it's kind of lightweight. You don't need to really work it into your hands. You just kind of spread it softly so it's covering both of your hands. And then what I do is I just kind of do the same thing that I did to get my hair in this position, but this time I just do it with the product on my hands. So it's not like when you have super short hair and you're using putty and you really have to coat every single hair with the product. This is more just like to hold it in place with what you've already done. And then I like to glue the sides down a little bit, so I don't get that puffed out look. And the back, that same motion to go with the swirl, not against it. And then once I'm done with that, I might just use a tiny bit more just right on the front and right here, because I know, your hair, you probably know your hair, it's different than everybody else's. And mine, the front tends to need a little more stick just to stay in place all day. okay? And so I'm kind of going up and back up here and then up into the side over here. All right? And this is about as long as my hair is gonna get, and then I'm gonna need, I'm gonna need a trim or a haircut pretty soon. But that's what I do most days. I find that this stays put throughout the day if I use this clay. And, that takes a minute. No blow dryer, no hairspray, nothing like that's involved. Just get out of the shower, towel dry, part it with your fingers, get some product, glue it down, and then you're on with your day. So that is my hairstyle morning routine. The other thing I wanted to mention was, today I didn't use any shampoo. I don't use shampoo every time I shower. So, if I worked out and I sweat a lot, I might use shampoo, or if I haven't used it in a day or two. But for most days, I'm not actually using shampoo because I find that it kind of strips my hair of its natural oils. So on a day like this where I haven't used shampoo, my hair is usually pretty well behaved. It kind of just does what I want. On days where I have used shampoo, I might have to use a little more product to really get it to stay. Okay, so if you're using shampoo every day, consider cutting back and maybe only shampooing every other shower or every third shower. All right, if you have any questions, as always, leave a comment down below, and until next time, stay stylish.